What's up guys, King here, bringing you a RE9 video on the TGS Tokyo Game Show event of 2025 on the 27th, or technically it took place on the 27th. Yeah, sorry if I'm talking very slow or very low. I'm not feeling very well at all today. It's like happened yesterday, like halfway through the day yesterday, like I started feeling weird. And yeah, pretty much I'm pretty sure I've got a flu or a cold. Whichever it is. Since I've woken up, I've just been eating a lot, so yeah, I'm not in the best shape right now. So yeah, apologize if for a few days I'm not going to be doing videos maybe, but I'm trying to get this out if I can. And hopefully we get something tomorrow, because we didn't get anything new today, which is very annoying. But I did get the translations for the event from Dusk Golem, so I'm going to be reading his translations for that, so that'll be the update video for that. And then hopefully we get something tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do react to that or not, like, because I feel like crap. I really do. But yeah, remember to like and subscribe, guys, and yeah, let's go through this. So first up, yeah, we didn't get anything new, but we finally did get Leon revealed in Resident Evil 9. That's right, Leon got revealed, guys. He got revealed, okay? Just like Dusk said it was gonna happen, it happened. There you go, guys. There's Leon. There's Leon for RE9. Yeah, the director is taking the piss at this point. Like, yeah, he's having fun with the whole... Yeah, we didn't get anything Leon related today. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't think we're gonna get anything tomorrow either. I really don't. I think if we're gonna get anything Leon related, it'll be at the New York Comic Con or towards the end of October, because apparently there's another event. There's like a Paris event. I'm not expecting anything at that event either. Like, at this point, I'm expecting Capcom themselves to do a Pacific RE showcase to reveal Leon at, or he is going to be revealed at the Game Awards, like I said before. Like, so yeah. But we'll read for the translations and see if we get anything new from there. All right. So yeah, moving on. Alright, translating the Resident Evil Requiem TGS special stage for any interesting tad bits of info they may have shared in Japanese. This might be a bit of a long process, just going in order of what they say and picking out any interesting tad bits. They say their demo data shows that roughly 2 out of, man, this guy can't spell sometimes, 2 out of every 10 people who played the demo don't finish it, either by dying or running out of time. They say Resident Evil Requiem is a bit harder than most Resident Evil games to contribute to the horror feeling, but there's of course difficulty settings in the final game to attribute to different playstyles. They say on the easier difficulties that there's an aim assist automatically turned on, the enemies are a little less aggravated and slower. Yeah, that's pretty much standard at this point. I believe they introduced that with Resident Evil 2 Remake, and they've had that in like pretty much all the other Resident Evil games from then on, so yeah, pretty standard. They say the game has both a strong horror and action element. Right now they're showing a horror focused section, but they still have much to show, and say if you're into action games, they believe you'll also be very satisfied with the game. And the game may work as a bridge for both audiences to see some of what's great about both. So again, this is Capcom pretty much confirming that yes, there's going to be horror and action elements in this game. It's not just a horror Pacific focused game. They say the game will both tackle things fans have wanted to see for a long time in the series, but also be a great jumping in point for someone new to the series. So they say worked hard to make it so it'd be an excellent first RE game for newcomers, while if you're already a fan, you may get 150% more enjoyment out of it. So this part is very interesting to me. They say the game will both tackle things fans have wanted to see for a long time in the series. What is the one thing fans have wanted to see for a long time in the series? A long time. What's the one key thing? Alex Wesker / Natalia. That's one of the key things fans have wanted a resolution on. So if they're specifically talking about plot, then there's a high chance this is what it's referring to, and we might get a conclusion on that. Fingers crossed. But if they're referring to, I don't know, gameplay or mood and that, I don't know. Like, we've already had that with the previous RE titles so far, with RE7 and the 2 remakes, so that's not something fans have waited a long time to see. Do you know what I mean? If this is character / plot related, that would be one of the key ideal things that we want to see a conclusion to. Fingers crossed. Talks about how the game starts with Grace Ashford going to Wrenwood Hotel to investigate a strange case, which is also the site her mother was murdered. Personal aside, when trying to describe it vaguely, I think he hints that you jump between modern day and the past when exploring Wrenwood Hotel, but that's some personal conjecture. Says Grace Ashcroft is maybe the most timid character in the whole series starting out. She has social anxiety and isn't good with communicating with others. Some people will probably question early in if Grace can even do what's asked of her, as she's thrown into an extreme horror situation, stuff maybe even more extreme and twisted than many of the other characters in the series have had to face to date. But RE fans, of course, in the series, you start off weak, then you start finding weapons, learning, growing, forming countermeasures, and getting gradually stronger, and this is going to be a growth journey the player joins her on. They think many might end up charmed by Grace's journey by the end. I mean, yeah, it's typical RE. You always play a new character who's out of their league, and eventually they get stronger with the stronger weapons you get, you upgrade, etc., and then you're like a powerhouse. This is standard of Resident Evil. Nothing new here. Talk about Alyssa. Says after the Raccoon City incident, she became a field journalist who specialized in investigating corporations, viral weaponry. Oh man, yeah. Like I told you guys, I'm not really well, man. I'm not all there. Government cover-ups, and during this, must have found out something someone didn't want getting out and killed her for it. So I saw another reply from someone else, and they said that during this, and they were there at the stage talk. They said that they never mentioned anything about Resident Evil Outbreak. They just mentioned how Alyssa is a field journalist. That's it. They didn't actually mention that she became a field journalist after the Raccoon City incident. So there's nothing in there about that actually. So this is Dusk making up bullshit, like this part here, like saying they talked about Alyssa after the Raccoon City incident, which makes it very curious. Then, like, are they? I mean, I think at one point they did mention that Alyssa did survive the Outbreak incident, right? So like that is canon still in the series. It would be kind of weird if you play this game and you find out, oh yeah, that those events didn't happen. Like, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But I think Outbreak did happen. It did. It's just moving on. Says a key part of the game is the truth behind the Raccoon City incident that Alyssa uncovered that someone desperately doesn't want being uncovered. For new gameplay stuff, they say there's a lot of new features they can't share yet, but within the scope of what they've shared so far, a big brand new feature is the ability to choose first or third person, of course. Ask the audience to raise hands if they prefer third person, or a mix of both. Says in the demo, Grace doesn't have a gun, but they have new features related to gunplay they're excited to unveil, and that you can expect the series' signature features like combat, puzzle solving, exploration, inventory management to all be present. They begin to talk about monsters here, say it wouldn't be an RE game without monsters. Do a little comedy routine of the producer asking if there'll be parasites like last time. Director says no. Insect based? Director saying there was kind of something like that in RE6, but no. The enemies in Resident Evil Requiem are infected with a virus, and confirms the main enemies in RE9 are zombies. But people may have already noticed from the trailer that they're not like the zombies we've seen in the series before. Obviously, we've never seen zombies smashing their head against mirrors or singing and dancing before. Says that the zombies are in their own way have evolved, and we're going to see mutated forms of zombies that require whole new ways to tackle them, but can't say any more than that for now. They'll talk more about these new zombies another time. So, we got involved zombies in this, and they are going to be very different from the standard ones. Interesting, very interesting. But it's also got me curious, because in one of my other videos, I did mention whether these zombies would sort of act like mini bosses, perhaps. Maybe they get so involved that you have to find new ways to beat them, and not in the usual way of keep shooting them in the head until they die. Like there'll be new ways to tackle them and that. So yeah, that seems. It seems they're doing something like that, maybe. Like there are zombies, but they're not your standard zombies anymore. The director, funny enough, apologized that the demo he knows many have already played or seen before, but there's people in Japan watching the stream who may not have seen it yet, so they're going to go through it. Talks about Resident Evil and Nintendo Switch 2. They tried porting RE8 to it first, and it actually turned out being a rather smooth process. So then they tried to see if Requiem was possible, and it was. So then they figured might as well do RE7 too. Originally they were just planning for PS5, Xbox and PC for launch, but included Nintendo Switch 2 in their final plans to launch along with them. And RE7, 8 and 9 will all launch on Switch 2 on the same day, and mentions he's curious what people who play RE7 for the first time and RE9 back to back think as the director of both. If anyone was thinking if Grace's whole side of the game was set mostly in the Road Hills Cryonic Care Center, do not worry. He says the setting is a hospital outside of Raccoon City, the first level she'll visit in RE9, not her primary setting for most of the game. So this is something I said as well, like the Road Hills Center would serve as the beginning stage of this game, alongside the Renwood Hotel, obviously. But yeah, like I've been saying, it's a hospital outside of Raccoon City, and they pretty much confirmed this. So yeah, you are going to Raccoon City. You're going to finish this section, and then you're going to be going to Raccoon City. I imagine you're going to be following a certain path, or she's going to escape, get into a car or something, and go there herself, and then boom, we're in Raccoon City. So it's going to be interesting to see how the game's going to get to that place. You know what I mean? How we're going to go from there to Raccoon City. So that's going to be interesting. Says there's a very unexpected person voicing Grace in Japanese, not revealing who it is for now. I don't get why that would be very unexpected. Maybe they got someone from a very, what is it, famous anime to do it. Remember when they got the Japanese voice actor for Zoro to do Jin, I think, in Ghost of Tsushima? Maybe it's a similar thing here. They say that maybe one of the biggest unique appeals to Resident Evil is how you begin exploring a spacious building and wondering what it's for and what its deal is. Could be called a series tradition at this point. Okay, when the ink ribbon is picked up, the producer mentions the item is special for longtime RE fans and what it's used for. Maybe dancing around saying its inclusion is a tease for fans for what's in RE9. Yeah, maybe ink ribbons make a comeback. I don't know. It'll be kind of weird that they just throw that in there as an Easter egg. So, because I'm assuming there'll be a save system of some sort. So maybe ink ribbons are going to return. They did have cassette tapes in RE7 if you play on hard mode, and you could save manually like that instead of, you know, saving whenever you want. There was a certain number of, like, you had to have cassette tapes, so maybe ink ribbons are making a comeback in this. Mentions to hide from Big Mama, make sure to remember to turn off the light as it draws attention. That sounds very similar to the Xenomorph in Isolation, where, like, if you have the tracker, you want to turn the tracker off because the alien will hear the tracker noise. The RE9 director reveals that most people don't know this yet, but when pushing the cart in the room to get the screwdriver, it's actually possible to do it without having the tray fall off the cart and triggering Big Mama to investigate the room if you do it carefully. So yeah, that's kind of cool. That's a nice little detail. Like I've seen a lot of videos where people are rushing it, trying to get it down. It's like, surely you can take your time, right? Clarifies the demo is a very early part of the game. They haven't shown a whole lot yet, and promised the game isn't all about running and hiding, and that the combat should feel very satisfying. Says there's a secret in the Resident Evil Requiem demo they don't think anyone has found yet. There's a few secrets, but there's one where you can trigger hearing a voice that contains a clue to the full game, but they don't think anyone's found it yet. One audience member thinks they found it. They say, really? Ask if anyone else did. No one else did. So that's very interesting. Triggering hearing a voice that contains a clue to the full game. What voice? What voice could you realistically hear that would be a clue to the full game? Because, like, I know there was, like, this thing where, like, some people played the demo and there's, like, a background noise you can hear, but, like, it didn't sound that very important. So I feel like this is something very story-based, maybe, that you can trigger. And, like, if you're a fan and you hear it, you'll be like, wait a minute, is this what I think it is? Is this what I think it means? I'm very curious what this Easter egg is that no one has found. Also, a place you can hear zombies. So there's a location where you can hear zombies. Interesting. Says they know many who came in were probably hoping for more new info, and apologize that for now they're still keeping a lot close to their chest. They're working hard in the final stages of development now. So this is interesting that they're saying that they're in the final stages of development. Like, it does sound like they've got this whole game figured out, and they've made everything they need to make from beginning to end without any bumps or delays or interruptions. That makes sense, you know, compared to RE7, where it was clear as day that the entire third act of the game they had to cut and then release free as DLC, because they knew that was meant to be in the game, but we never got it on release, which is the Chris DLC, which I'm assuming was meant to be part of the main game. But like I said, we didn't get it on release, so it's like, DLC, guys, and it's going to be free because it has to be. It's part of the main story, it's part of the game, people need to play, etc, etc. So it doesn't feel like there's anything like that going on here, but it makes me curious if we will get some sort of DLC later on, or if they have planned DLC for this. Maybe they haven't. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think they have any planned DLC for this. I think they'll wait for the reception for this, and then they'll be like, yeah, we're going to do DLC for this. Then again, if Leon's in the game and Ada is, he's in the game, then surely Ada would be. So I'm kind of see her getting a DLC maybe. I don't know. It's just speculation on my part. They know many people properly tuned in wanting to know where they could pre-order the game. Say pre-orders should open up in October or November. They're right now preparing everything for that, so ask people to please wait a little bit longer. They'll have a lot more to show on the game soon and open up pre-orders within the next month or two. They'll alert everyone of when exactly in the near future. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. So that's that. There was another post Dusk made where he basically did a condensed version of all of this. And then someone replied to that and they had this to say. So Dusk went, going to work on translating blah blah blah. Resident Evil Requiem pre-orders opening up in October, November, hinting at an upcoming RE Direct around then. Announcement of an announcement deal. And this guy replied, Alexanio, and he was the guy that was there at the event. He was there, he saw everything firsthand. He translated parts of what Dusk just did in a little more smaller versions, but he did say this. Capcom did not explicitly hint at an upcoming RE Direct. That is entirely Dusk Golem speculation. So yeah, for everyone reading Dusk Golem's post thinking, oh yeah, Dusk confirms, he says that there's an RE Direct, that they said there's an RE. There isn't. There is no RE Direct confirmed. Okay? We know there's an event in October, which is the New York comic panel. And then there's the Paris event, which is at the end of October or beginning of November. So maybe we get something there, maybe we don't. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not expecting a new trailer tomorrow. I'm not expecting a Leon reveal. I really am not. Like, I said this before, like, it feels too early. It feels way too damn early. So I'm going to stick with my theory that it's probably going to be at New York Comic Con for the the American audience, if you will, or they're going to reveal it at the Game Awards. Like, that's when they'll reveal it at the Game Awards. That's when we'll get like the reveal, the Leon reveal, the action reveal, and everything. That's what I think. Unless Capcom surprises us tomorrow, but I'm personally not expecting it. But yeah, guys, that's really it. That's the translations. That's pretty much all we got. Stuff. Most of this is stuff we've heard before, to be honest. So really nothing new. One or two new things, yeah, but nothing to lose our minds over. Not yet anyway, until we get an actual proper story trailer that dwells into more of this stuff so we can get a good idea what's going on. But until then, yeah. Some people asked, what are you going to do if Leon's not revealed? I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to be upset about it. Leon's in this or he's not in this. And if he's not in this, then it just showcases how wrong and what of a liar Dusk is. Do you know what I mean? If they don't reveal Leon in this, so like, because he's so adamant that Leon's in this, but you also got to keep in mind he's not the only one that said Leon's in this game. Andy from Screamfire, who was one of the first people to leak stuff about RE9, said that Leon's in this game. He got the title right. He got a lot of elements about the original RE9 version right. So, there's multiple people saying, "Oh, Leon's in this game," but we'll have to wait and see. I also did a video showcasing like the evidence of why Leon's in this. Like, obviously, like, I don't want to go through all of it, but I'm just gonna talk about it without showing it because it's just easier. But the director of RE9 follows the actor on Instagram. He's the only RE actor that I've seen that he follows on there. None of the other actors are followed, only him. So that's a bit weird. And then Nick's resume, the actor that plays Leon, voices Leon, his resume contains a secret game, right? And the description of this game, like the role that he plays as the male lead, it's the exact same description as his role as Leon in 2, 4, and Infinite Darkness. So that's too much of a coincidence. Do you know what I mean? Like clearly it's Leon. Like clearly it's something RE related at best. Yeah. And then there's the fact that like they every time Leon is brought up, they never actually say he's in it or he's not in it. When RE9 was first revealed, they straight up said Leon was originally the main character, but then he wasn't. They didn't say Leon's not in the game. They never said he's not in the game. They just said he's not the main character. And then when asked if Chris is in the game, for example, they straight up confirmed Chris is not in the game. But when they're asked about Leon, they don't confirm anything. They've remained tight-lipped about this. So it's clear as day when you read behind the lines and you look at the reactions and how they've reacted to other questions, to other characters, and you read some of the social stuff and you look at that. It's clear as day that Leon is in fact in this game. Now whether he's got a big role or a small role, I don't know. I don't know. You know, you kind of, you know, that's, you know, Dusk is saying he's got a big role. For all I know, he could be bullshitting. You know, you can't take everything he says as 100% of a guarantee. You know, I always keep saying, take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, guys, that's my video. Hope you liked it. And yeah, I shall see you when I shall see you. Take care and bye. And what's the word? Keep healthy, guys. Keep healthy. Like, yeah, it's flu season and it sucks. Bye, guys. Bye.